Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Konnichiwa, yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Welcome, 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 one and all. I hope you are all well and ready for the festive season, as many of us are. It's Christmas! And in the spirit of all sort of Christmas TV show type things, because I like to see myself as a Christmas show, TV show, this is our last show of the year. So let's kick back, everybody. Yeah, let's have some fun. As you join me, Clive Illingdon, your host, tonight as I pop down the chimney of all things Stadia this week. And we have a look into the future. Welcome, chat. I hope you are well. Say hi to everyone. Share around the mince pies and the quality street. Spare the twiglets and keep the cheesy footballs for me. Remember to hit those likes. Subscribe, of course, if you are new here, and wish everyone a festive cheer. Everyone a festive cheer, everybody. Right, shall we do this? We've got some fun things tonight, and of course, later there will be a special guest. So stay around, stay tuned for that. Make sure you stay tuned for that. I think you might enjoy it, but we'll see. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're well. Let me know what games you've been playing this week, if I can't guess, and what games you maybe, if you've got any time off, any games you're going to be planning to play over the festive season and all of that. Anyway, shall we get on with the news, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, let's just crack on. Shall we get on with the news? Make sure everybody says hi in the chat. Welcome all the regulars, as ever. Always delightful to see you. Let me just run by you. We'll just say Rock, of course. Jerome, always in there, Jerome. Lovely to see you. Lord Vivek, Victor, Christopher, Spaghetti, Dave, watch out, Ken, Mr. W, The Crow, J Key, Hell Monkey, Gandara, Kumna, XV, Naki Niki Noo, all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining in the chat. Thank you for taking part. Let's get on with this, as I say. With some news of the week. Stadia have continued to deliver, haven't they? They've right up to the year end. It's like Christmas presents. Just keep coming, and they're big things. They're big features and big games and announcements. It's all good. They really pulled out the stops for the end of the year, and it's all come good, as we've said. So they continue to deliver the big features and all those things. So anyway, the news. Why don't we just check out the Stadia community blog? And just read out the page, you know, like other Stadia podcast shows do, because people can't read the blog on their own. So I shall read it to you like a bedtime story. Let's go to the news. Right, and the news this week, courtesy of the Stadia community blog, which I understand I'm duty bound as a Stadia podcast content creator to read. See, it's the law, apparently. Anyway, here we go. More games, of course. Enter the Gungeon. The Gungeon. Who remembers the Gunge tank? It's been Noel's house party. That's a UK reference there. Anyway, Enter the Gungeon. Run and gun game. I always find them a bit frustrating. A bit like Cuphead on Xbox. And Beats and Shapes, which I absolutely love, but that was because of the music. Reigns is a card game. It's sort of a bit nerdy. But a really cool looking design style card game. And then Lara Croft, Guardian of the Light, the prequel to the other sort of top down game. The trouble is, when I see the Lara Croft type games like this, it just makes me a little, I mean, they're fun to play, but I really want to play a full on third person Lara Croft, you know, like normal whenever I see a picture of Lara Croft. Anyway, let me know what you think about these games, of course. Enter the Gungeon, a bullet and hell dungeon crawler. I love the design and stuff. It does look really cool. As I say, I find I'm not enough of a hardcore gamer to really get those bullet hell type things like Shapes and Beats and stuff like that, and Cuphead. Reigns, as I said, he's got a great design. These are both from Devolver Digital as well. It's good to see that Stadia have kind of built this good relationship with Devolver Digital, because Devolver Digital really do sign up really interesting developers and stuff like that, with some indie titles, obviously Serious Sam, quirky stuff, and all of that. And your mama knows how you doing. And now your mama knows how you doing. Good to see you. And of course, The Guardian of Light, which is the sort of prequel to the other game in this style, which is Osiris. That's it. Osiris is the other one. With more games coming in Stadia 21, of course, Hitman 3 is very early January, of course. Far Cry is in February. Humankind, Riders Republic, which looks kind of fun. Hello Engineer, and loads of other. They're coming. I mean, I know we're not quite at the festive season, but it's not as though the games have just switched off. There's loads and loads of stuff. But yeah, that Reigns is a really kind of well-renowned game. You do get the sense with Stadia games that they are genuinely curated. They're not just throwing anything at for the hell of it at Stadia. They're genuinely curating them with a kind of curious sort of indie games, quirky games with the AAAs, just a good, family games, a good old mix. And it's just building and building. And it's really kind of great to see all those things. Other things in the news, ladies and gentlemen, other things in the news. As I saw somebody in chat point out here as well, there is a 30-minute trial for those that don't want to put my credit card in, because the man will get me. Yeah, the man will track you. Yeah, if you put your credit card in, the man's going to track you. That's fair enough. Some people, don't like, shit. It's 21st century, man. Of course, you put your credit card details in. This is what you do, credit and debit details. Anyway, thank you to Stadia Source. Not necessarily for finding this, but for presenting it nicely for me to present to you, of course. So there's always been that moment of like people going, yeah, but I don't want to sign up for a free trial because I have to put my credit card in. I don't have a credit card, or whatever it is. And I'll touch on this later, but one of the things about Stadia is they just want people to try it. And it's about the ease of access, yeah? The quickest way to get in without kind of any bumps or friction. So a frictionless entry, as it were. A bit rude, no? Frictionless entry, as it were. And so, on one side of things, they do want you to sign up so they've got your details and stuff like that. On the other hand, people are reluctant to put in credit card and debit card details. Fair enough. So this seems like a halfway house. So basically, you can try Stadia Pro for 30 minutes and then add a payment method later to continue with the one month trial, which I think is a kind of good halfway house, because what that allows you to do is just try it. Yeah. Because you'll know straight away if Stadia doesn't work for you. So 30 minutes gives you an opportunity just to pop in, try a couple of, just call some things up, see if they function properly. You don't have to, 5 or 10 minutes in a couple of games, see whether Stadia actually works for you. And then, if you want it, you still get a free trial, but put your credit card details in. So I think it's a kind of an interesting halfway house to sort of get people in. And as I say, have that kind of frictionless entry and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool and really interesting. Let me know what you think about that in the chat, as ever. But it's just interesting that Stadia are trying to find easy ways for people to try it. And again, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later when we look into the future and about some things that John Justice said that they've learned and about all they're trying to do with Stadia at the moment. Also, of course, it's now on iOS. I'm not an iOS man myself, but I recognize the significance of it being on iOS. Let me know whether you've tried it on an iPad or anything like that. I know a lot of people saying, what's his name from the unboxing guy? Jay? No, not Jay. Anyway, I forgot what his name is now. Anyway, he was saying, if you've got an iPad Pro, whatever, It's got a high refresh rate, that screen. Playing Cyberpunk on something like that is going to look absolutely amazing. I know Bill from Nerd Nest, or Nerdcast as I call it, I mashed them up, is a big iPad fan, and he's been looking forward to being able to play games on his iPad and stuff. But if you've got if you've got an iPad Pro with a real kind of beautiful screen and a high refresh rate, it's gonna look sweet. Lou, thank you, Spaghetti. It's Lou. Yes, that's brilliant. Chilled Frank, how are you, my friend? Good to see you there. Scooterama, Darfadas, lovely to see you all in the chat. But yeah, let me know. I say I'm not an I do have an I have an iPhone for work, but I'm not that. I'm not part of the Apple cult. I'm part of the Google cult. But let me know whether you've tried it, what it's like, especially if you've tried it on iPad Pro, because I say a lot of people are very, very positive about it. And again, more positive kind of responses because they've made it available on this. And it's all about making Stadia available where you play. This is a familiar tune that Stadia are playing now, a familiar message that they keep saying. It's about they want you to be able to play on the devices you have. That's the key thing. Again, I'll mention it a little bit later when we look at the John Justice interview that took place. Right. And of course, this week, ladies and gentlemen, I was just seeing whatever. Of course, this week, let's not forget, I know it's Christmas, but this week, we are going to get, or we should get, the January Pro game announcement. So presumably that's either going to be tomorrow or Thursday, Christmas Eve. That'd be nice. Christmas Eve present. Yeah. So that'd be cool. So let me know, in the chat, let me know what you think we might get as Stadia Pro games, because the January ones are usually announced in the last week. It's a funny old week because it's Christmas. Could be on Thursday, although unless they schedule it, have a holiday. Jeez, I'm going to have a break. Grace, have a break. Or it could get announced tomorrow, so we'll have to see how it goes. But Hitman 3 as well, is, as I say, mentioned, is coming in the beginning of that month as well, in January. So let me know what you think, what the pro games are going to be, and all of those. I'm always interested in what you guys have got to say. Right. Talking of the new year, talking of things to look forward to in the new year, there was an interview with John Justice, head of product for Stadia, with the Escapist website, where he set out basically the way the year had gone, some of the things they've learned from the year, how things have gone, how things are going, how they're going to handle things in the future, and a few areas that they are concentrating on. And I highly recommend you watch it if you've not seen it. If you just put John Justice and The Escapist, you'll find it. The YouTube video is on their website, the Escapist website. It's really, really interesting interview because of the way he phrased some things and the sort of the themes that kept coming up throughout the interview, even though the interviewer was obsessed with digital product for some reason. Like, yeah, but maybe there's a way that if you bought the digital product, you could get the Stadia version. It's like some people just they can't let go of the digital. They can't let go of the physical product. That's what he's talking about. Can't let go of the physical product. Like old school. If you bought a DVD, like literally a DVD. Who buys a DVD now? But you bought a DVD from Universal, you might get a digital copy. And so Stadia would be the digital copy. Couldn't get that out of his head. I think John Justice was getting a bit like, what the hell are you talking about? But to me, that's like people who think like that. It's a bit like, say, when the man who invented the car, Mr. Benz or Mr. Diesel, when he invented the car, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have invented the horseless carriage, ladies and gentlemen, and I shall call it the automobile. It is the vehicle of the future." And then people are going, yeah, but like, where do I put the horse? No, it is a horseless carriage. You do not need a horse. And that's great. How does it work then? It has an engine. Okay, but you put the horse in the back then. No, you don't need a horse. This is the vehicles of the future. It is a horseless carriage. Yeah, but it comes with a horse, doesn't it? No, it doesn't come with a horse. It's a car. It's an automobile. It doesn't need a horse. It is a horseless carriage. Oh, Yeah, but it'd be good if it had a horse. And it's like that. Literally, it's like that. It's like, get over it, man. It's in the cloud. This is the thing. We've moved on from hard physical copies. We've moved on from just digital copies you download to stuff that's in the cloud, just like all your music, just like all your movies. It's not difficult, ladies and gentlemen. We've had two forms of media beforehand that have led the way. Anyway, John Justice, enough rant. That's a rant. Rant's over. Where do I put the horse? You don't put the horse. Doesn't come with a horse. Anyway, so John Justice, the escapist, they talk about, let's just call it up here. Yeah, so John Justice with his trendy California blue glasses. He talked about what they've learned over the year. Press the wrong button there. There we are. Talked about what they've learned over the year and how they're interesting as well, how they keep an eye on Reddit as well. So, Reddit's nearly 100,000 users. And he mentioned Reddit a couple of times, I think, within the interview, and about how they keep an eye on it and they get the feedback and it's a good community. And they're kind of excited the way the community interacts and stuff like that, which is really cool. But let's have a look at some of the... So Reddit is really the pulse of the Stadia community, really. I think from Google's point of view. I mean, it's 100,000 people on the Reddit Stadia talking about Reddit. So where better to go to sort of catch a pulse of the Stadia community and stuff like that. Anyway... special prize for those of you who drop a link to this show in Reddit, by the way. Yeah, just saying. It helps. Spread the love. Anyway, John Justice, the Escapist show. So here are some of the takeaways. So I watched it a couple of times, and here are the main takeaways from that interview. So loads of features are coming. They're working on loads and loads of features, but they've learned, don't talk about them, just deliver them. And we've seen over the last month or so, they've been doing that, literally be going, yeah, we're rolling out to 8 of the countries next week. Oh, yep, it's now available on iOS. Oh, there it is, literally the next day. So, I've featured many a Stadia Karen, on here. Where's my family share? I've been waiting for it for 6 months. You told me I hate you. They've learnt their lesson. Yeah, there are too many Stadia Karens around. So just say, oh, by the way, family share, here it is. Tomorrow. Or we're rolling it out now. People love that. We love that. And it really has a great effect. And we're all going, oh my God, have you heard? The iOS one's available. Is it iOS? Yeah. Oh, it's great. So they've really learnt that. And I've seen, that sort of in action over the last few months, and certainly going in the new year as they bring more and more features. Oh, crowd choice there. Apply for beta now, whatever, there it is. So that's one thing they've learned. The other thing he said they learned from feedback is games. Who knew? Yeah. More games in general. Yeah. That's what people want. Yeah. Which is obvious. Yeah. Absolutely. More games. People want more games. And he talked about the business model as well. The business model, subscribe. Yeah, that's because you're an idiot. Don't understand it. The business model is brilliant. Developers like it. Publishers like it. Stadia like it. Some people with a brain too small to be able to balance the two concepts of a subscription type model and a purchase model in the same space. It can't fit in my head. Have problems with it. But other than that, any sane thinking person perhaps does not. Anyway, more games obviously is obvious, but interesting, one thing he said is more games as part of the sub. Yeah. So more games as part of the pro, which I thought was interesting. Because he says there are some people, they really see two distinct people who approach games in different ways on Stadia. Some who just want to be able to buy the game, buy a couple of games and play them. Yeah. Which is perfect. Yeah. I just want to buy Cyberpun and play it. Yeah. And that's it. Fine. So they cater for that. They provide an option, a choice, a consumer choice. You can do that. Yeah. And I've talked about it. I talked about it on Rock's Cloudburst at the weekend, how, you go, yeah, I want a Netflix I want a Netflix of gaming. Yeah. I want it to be like Luna where you just subscribe. Yeah. But you can't play Cyberpunk on Luna day and date. Yeah. That's the thing. Because the big AAA games don't go on a subscription service from day one. That's not how it works. Unless you own the publisher or you own the developer, like Xbox are doing, and then they're exclusives. But general big AAA games will not, unless somebody pays a hell of a lot of money for it, will not go day and date on a subscription model. So if you want to play if you were a Luna subscriber, say for instance, or you were just a Games Pass subscriber and nothing else, I mean, at least Xbox is the same model, really. You can subscribe to Xbox. I mean, there's subtle differences, like games drop out. You're not building a library with Games Pass. But you can also buy the games. But a model like Luna, I know there's some people who want a subscription model, and that's fine. But you can't buy the games. So you wouldn't be able to play Cyberpunk day and date with a Luna type model. You can with Stadia. You had that choice. You didn't have to subscribe. It's very easy. I don't know why people don't get it and talk about it being, I don't know sure about the business model. I think it's because they were muddled up from earlier at the launch, and there's still this stupid idea that somehow you've got to pay a subscription and pay full price for games. No. Anyway, they know they're gamers, and they know the gamers want to game in those two different ways. So he talked about basically adding more to the pro subscription library, which is really exciting. We're already getting 6, that's why. And that is, he also mentioned, that's why we've had almost consistently 6 or more games every month added to the library. We're building out that library nicely. And then also, if you sign up and you're new to pro, I think they want to widen. So at the moment, there are 30 plus games available. If you signed up to pro today, I think they want to increase that amount. So they're building a sort of a subscription-like model, except of course they're games in your library and you get to keep them, but still retaining that, making sure that all the titles you expect to see are on the platform. And as we know, there's 400 plus titles in development with different publishers, different developers, all penciled in to coming for Stadia over the next 18 months or so. So as I've said before on this show, do not worry about the games. They are coming, yeah? Anyway, so that was really, he just talked about ease of access. That was the thing they've learned. He also said that people have really loved the instant play, and when we all do, it's that kind of, once you don't have to download a game, especially with the massive games, which he talks about, of course the big games are getting bigger, yeah, and you need more hard drive. And then you have to have, it takes a long time to download them. Or then you have to make the decision which game are you going to get rid of, with the view that you might have to reload it back in again. And as all of us that have used Stadia before know, it's really difficult to go back to downloading a game with the fact that you just press and play. And he said, that the fact that it's so easy that within a couple of minutes, you're playing a game. But then he quite instantly said, but we don't think it should be 2 minutes. We think it should be even faster. So some of the features they're working on, and they're not going to announce, some of the features, they'll just happen behind the scenes and behind the tech, is increasing or decreasing the gap between you purchasing a game, pressing play, and it loading up and playing. Yeah, they're trying to work on getting that down and down and down, and get a sense of instant feedback. The other feedback they've had is really positive feedback about the YouTube features. That's gone down really well, they've said. And so they've realized that it's loads of people love watching their favorite streamers, like Lord Kensal. He's great. Their favorite streamers and stuff. So they're working on more YouTube features, which, as anybody knows me or watched this show, that streaming straight to YouTube was one of the things I was most anticipating. I had to wait a whole year for it, more than a year. One of the things I was most anticipating arriving on Stadia. I thought it'd be there at launch, and then I realized it wasn't. But I'm patient. I'm a patient guy. Good job. Anyway, so I'm excited about what other features, what other integrations, whether you can integrate a camera, whether there's some stuff that you can do with OBS. I think, again, Bill, I did not know this, Bill. Thank you for informing me. And I was going to research it. So you better be right, because I'm relying on you now, because I hadn't researched it. Like I normally, when somebody says something, I don't take it for granted. I go off and research it, but I forgot to do it. Anyway, he said that Google have invested in OBS. I mean, OBS is sort of an open source anyway. It's sort of not a company, as it were. But Google have invested in that. And that's to really develop features that you could use on YouTube. So then we're going to see some features you could use in Stadia as well. So I'm excited about that. Or whether a company like I used to use Lightstream, which was a cloud-based sort of streaming software, which provided overlays. So when I streamed direct from Xbox to Mixer, it was a vanilla, you could add a camera, but that was it. But with Lightstream, and they've changed it now, but with Lightstream, you could add overlays and all that kind of stuff direct from your stream from Xbox. So could there be some sort of extra things like that you could integrate? Because the quality of the stream direct from Stadia to YouTube, obviously, is amazing. I was watching Yoshida, who's doing loads of streaming, and the quality is better than my quality, because I'm having to stream it via OBS to YouTube. And the quality of the stream is great. It's just I wish there was some sort of integration and stuff like that. Brian Smith, I'm not talking about Ubisoft, because I'm miffed as well about that. I'm miffed as well. Don't worry about that. It makes no rhyme or reason. Lots of people have talked about it. And as Sherlock Holmes says, I'm going to kill the paraphrase now, but once you've eliminated all other possibilities, what is remaining is the truth. And I've eliminated all possibilities in terms of business plans or business reasonings behind it. I've eliminated them all because none of them make sense, except for one, and that is it's Luna. Yeah, it's Luna. It's Amazon, Luna, and their relationship with Ubisoft on being the first to bring Ubisoft Plus to a game streaming platform. And I think there are some restrictions in it which prevent Stadia from expanding much quicker. That is the only, it's not reasonable at all, but the only logical conclusion once you've kind of looked at all other angles. And I've looked at all other angles. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I have had to scrabble around to anything that would make sense, business sense, to why Ubisoft have restricted it to the US. It doesn't make any sense other than because Luna is, and therefore blame Amazon. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so expect lots of features. Thank you, Brian Smith. I've nearly forgot that going on Ubisoft. Anyway, lots of great features for YouTube, and some extra things that we hope to see as well. The other thing he was talking about is he thinks that actually, from a cloud gaming point of view, Stadia is the only one that really offers 4K, 60 frames per second, HDR surround sound. You only get that at Stadia at the moment. All the others are kind of slightly less. Obviously, Luna's less. Obviously, xCloud is less, and stuff like that. But he said again, they're continually working on improving the servers, to make it better, faster load times, and they have a long roadmap for every component in the server. Yeah. Now I was a bit harsh with somebody on who was it? I apologize. I was a bit harsh on Rockstars at Night because it annoys me slightly. People go on about Gen 2. When are they launching Gen 2? When are they launching Gen 2? Because the idea of launching Gen 2 is a very narrow way of thinking. Yeah. Gen 2 will sort of happen or evolve over time as they replace the components in the different servers. It's not a moment. It's because people in their head have an idea, like consoles have a point where you have the current generation, and then there's a moment when you have the next generation. But with the sort of Gen 2 whatever, which we see bandied around within the community, it's not going to be a moment in time. There'll be a lot of moments over time. So please stop talking about Gen 2, all right? It's just constant generational improvements, yeah? basically components, yeah? Upgrading components, just like you would upgrade your computer. You don't say, I've got my Gen 2 computer now, yeah? Your PC master race, unless you go out and buy a new you go, I've just upgraded the graphics card. Then do you call your master race PC, that's my Gen 2 PC? No, you've just upgraded your old PC. Yeah, that's what Stadia will be, being upgrades, yeah? Anyway, there we go. So they've got a roadmap, basically, planning out when they are going to be upgrading all the different components in the servers to give us better, faster, much better quality games and all of that. Constant upgrading. Every part of it, he said. They'll be upgrading every part of it. And there'll be no talking about it. That's what he said, ladies and gentlemen. No talking about it until it lands. That's the cool thing. They've learned from the whole, yeah, it's got a gazillion terafloppy flops and, and all this kind of stuff, which they've been hit over the head with it. They've learned that. So Gen 2 will come. It'll just be there. You wake up one morning and something will be upgraded. Trust me. They just want to make Stadia work on what people have. And now this is what I alluded to earlier. What they're talking about is because the guy from Escape is saying, oh, you're going to bring out a special box, like a special box that people could play, and it's like, oh. People don't get it. No. The Stadia philosophy is they want people to be able to play on the devices they have. It's not just a marketing thing. It genuinely is what's driving the thinking. And behind that as well, it's all about not adding the overhead of another box. Yeah. So the Chromecast, Ultra will sort of be retired. I mean, I know we've got the Chromecast with Google TV and the app will eventually come to that. But he's saying that they're working on it being available for Android TV, but not just Android TV, other apps. In the same way that, you buy a smart TV from Samsung and, there's the Netflix app. So part of this philosophy of it being, Stadia being available on the devices that you have is getting it into televisions as well. And that's going to be a strong push for them because they realize that's what people want. They just want ease of access. So he talked about making it work across all TVs without extra stuff. That was the key phrase, without extra stuff, i.e. as an app. And they're going to be focusing on making it work on as many TVs, including Android TV, to make it simple, so easy that you're more likely to game, because he talked about his example and how many I know in the community have talked about it. How, maybe slightly older gamers, you've got kids, you've got family, and you don't want to be setting stuff up and all that kind of stuff. You just want, to play. I'm sitting at the computer. I'll play at the computer. I'm sitting on my phone waiting for, little Mary or little Johnny to finish ballet class. I'll play on my phone in the car while I'm waiting. Or, I'll just play on the TV. It's just about ease of access, playing on the devices you have. And so part of that is to make sure the Stadia app is available on TVs, which I think is really exciting. That is the future. That's where it's going, people. It genuinely feels like we're at the real beginning now of Stadia. And he mentioned that as well. But I think so. I think 2021 is, it's been a hard slog to get to where we are, but there's a positive buzz about Stadia. It's sort of broken free beyond the sort of Stadia community. More and more people are trying it. More and people are going, hey, wow, it works, and all that kind of stuff. So I think, this is going to be 2021 with all the games they've got lined up. He said, 130 games this year. They've got many, many, many more than that next year. And as games get bigger, as I say, cloud gaming makes more and more sense because of the download issues. And they're going to do, as I said, lots more on the YouTube side. They're working on instant cross screen. So more, making it even more easy, going from your TV to your computer to your phone. I mean, I think people talk about the Luna Plus model. And to me, I've not tried it, but the way people describe that, that's probably slightly smoother going from one screen to the other than it is on Stadia. And I think Stadia probably recognized that. So I think they're going to make sure that their transition from one screen to another is even smoother than it is as well. And I say, and getting it on more TVs, getting it fast, getting Stadia fast and faster. And excitingly, there will be more announcements, mostly about games, I think, but in the next few weeks. So expect some sort of big announcements in January. Is it going to be Gen 2? Shut up about Gen 2. It is forever Gen, exactly. Okay, Keith. It is forever Gen rather than Gen 2, Gen 3. It's just continual Gen, yeah? Constant generation. Anyway, let me know what you think about it and things like that. I'd be interesting to see. It's been an exciting year. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Right. I hope you found that bit interesting. We've got now, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year where I think we need a special guest. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the part of the show that I wanted to call this part of the show the 12 Yongs of Christmas, yeah? Because to make it Christmassy. But I'm thinking it could be an ongoing theme, yeah? And 12 Yongs of Christmas, I think are a bit limited, limits me to Christmas. So I've decided to call this next section, How Yong Can You Be, yeah? So this section is called How Yong You Can Be. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's receipt time, yeah? And boy, oh boy, has our favorite anti-Stadia YouTube videos not aged well. Oh my God. I saved you lot, and I went back just purely for the purposes of this exercise, and I went through some of his old videos, and oh my God, they have not aged well. You know, it's almost as if he doesn't know, and he never did know what he's talking about. Surely not. How can a YouTuber with that many subscribers not know what he's talking about? Poor deluded viewers. Could it be that most YouTubers are self-appointed experts? What about you, Klein? Yeah, I am a self-appointed expert, but some of us are less delusional about our expertise than others. That's all I'm going to say. I do my research, baby. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please. Now, we've had this. No, remember what I say, ladies and gentlemen. Say it with me. No booing. Yes, remember? Anyway, please welcome your friend and mine, Mr. Yongye, as we invite him into this new segment called How Yong Can You Be? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Yongye, no booing, Mr. Yongye.
X in all its glory.
No, not that. Stadia, get a room, will you? Right, now listen very, very carefully. You're on this show, and every say and what you've been saying about Stadia, so we can kind of judge you. Now, so you're on here to talk about Stadia. Now, just word of warning there, that lady there, you will get slapped every time you say something which has been so fundamentally proved wrong, it's made you look like an idiot. Okay? So just try to be careful what you say. Okay? And then we should be fine. Off we go.
What a complete and monumental flop this cloud streaming platform has been.
I did warn you, didn't I? I did warn you. All right? Now see if we can just see if you can get through this section. Yeah, without saying without saying things that are so fundamentally ridiculous, okay? Now, let's talk about Cyberpunk and what a wonderful version it is on Stadia. Let's do that. Can we do that? Yeah? Do you think you can get through safely on that one? Let's go. Come on.
On Stadia, people have already enjoyed it on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
Oh dear. I did warn you. Yeah, I did warn you. Anyway, carry on.
Stadia's biggest issues is the lack of games.
Oh
no. On top of the fact that the streaming technology is not perfect, on top of the fact that the business model is utter ass.
Oh no.
Asking people to pay full price for just access to Google Stadia servers rather than allowing people the option of downloading that game as well. But the lack of games is particularly fatal. There's no point in investing in a gaming platform where you can't buy the games that you want.
What, like Luna? Yeah? A business model like Luna? We can't buy the games? Yeah, that would be ridiculous. All I say is, given the versions on PlayStation and Xbox, it's a good job that, you know, this Google Stadia one was optimized, wasn't it, eh?
That it's best to focus on optimizing the game for the most popular platforms.
No.
And does not paint a confident picture for the future of Stadia.
Really? You're not helping
yourself. A platform that has consistently proven to deliver a lesser experience for many of the games that it has hosted.
Imagine releasing on a major game an inferior version. That would be terrible, wouldn't it?
Time and again, it's been proven that porting and optimizing a game over to Stadia is not as simple of a process as it should be. For some of these games, there's compromises that are made despite running on hardware that have more teraflops than on consoles like Xbox One X, where some of these games look and run better. But now when you're starting to see developers saying that not releasing the Google Stadia version on time is a worthy compromise, when you start seeing that developers also don't see that much value in the Stadia version, I mean, that's when you're in trouble.
None of this
the
is
Stadia
well.
version is literally pointless. So what we're looking at now, ladies and gentlemen, is a cloud gaming service that has an awful business model. It has a pathetic library of games. It is lacking in the promised features. It is technically flawed and inconsistent. It releases inferior versions of games with lower resolution and or lower frame rate than its other version counterparts.
Well, let's say, look. Do yourself a favor. Just do yourself a favor, please. Yeah? This is painful. Just accept that Stadia's actually turned out pretty okay by the end of the year, and that most of what you've said about Stadia through the year has been so fundamentally wrong, ill-informed, and a disservice to the service. Yeah? That's all I'm asking you to say. Admit it. Yeah? You just didn't give it time, and that actually Stadia, as it's proving out now, is pretty good. I mean, what would you say if somebody was so consistently wrong as you have been? How would you describe that?
The level of just lack of foresight.
Yeah.
Just across the board, every facet of Stadia is unreliable. With every element of this game streaming service, you're taking a gamble on whether the thing will run at all on your internet connection, whether the visual fidelity will be up to par compared to other versions.
I knew that was going to hurt.
Or hell, whether a game that you're looking forward to will release on the platform at all or on time.
Oops.
And I'm telling you, I just don't see a future for Stadia.
So how would you describe a channel that's been consistently wrong for so long?
Irrelevant.
Wow. I had to pull him out of there in the end. I couldn't see him take any more pain. Yeah? The slap lady got him. Yeah? In fact, I'm going to be using the slap lady, I think, from now on Twitter. Yeah? I think the slap lady is going to support the idiot of the week. There's no idiot of the week because that was basically the idiot of the year. Yeah. Wow. His comments have not aged well, have they? Let me take this off now. I finished listening to him. Finished talking to him. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little get. He's probably not going to come back now. He's probably scared of the slap lady. I might make my slap lady meme, put it out, yeah. And every time we see anybody on Twitter who's so ill-informed or misrepresents or talks about the Google graveyard or something stupid like that, slap lady. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look, see if there's anything going on in the chat. Well, I can see there's something in chat. What I mean is whether chat pops up on the thingy. No, it never does. Let me just see if I can refresh that 1 second. Woo. And we'll have a chat. I hope you enjoyed that little interview there. Yeah, chat's a bit reluctant there. Never mind. I'm just gonna read the chat from the. Let's go there from the main thing. Let's bring it over here. Let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, hit the likes, and if you're new here, subscribe. We do, we try to get the guests. We try to bring the guests. We try to do these in-depth interviews. Serious, quality, journalism there. But sometimes you just have to bring out the slap lady. Yay! Thank you, Chilled Frank. Much appreciated. Happy festive holidays for you for that. Really appreciate it. But yeah, sometimes you've got to bring out the slap lady, as I say, for people outside the area of reasonable discourse. And, he is, in a way, is representative of many people. You could probably go back through many people's YouTube videos from earlier in the year, and they have not aged well. I mean, the videos. But they have not aged well. Dave Windle says the buzzer woke me up. What do you mean? I'd put you to sleep? The problem for me, a lot of Stadia Pro subscribers just gloss over my biggest gripe with Stadia. To me, this is as bad as Young ignoring Stadia talking about Cyberpun. When you gloss past the 4K 5.1 being only available on Stadia Pro, i.e. with the game screen, you are a wrong Clive. Whoa, Nekinu. Yeah. What? Do you think, well, mate, I can see a time when 4K will just be available for all as the norm, in time. And the value, they'll concentrate more of the value on giving Stadia Pro members more games and stuff like that. I think that's how it is. You really want the feature set of the service to be the same for anybody, and then the added value to be the games or the business model that you choose to opt for. So there we are. It's I mean, I think you're right. One of the benefits of Pro, people do concentrate on the sort of subscription element, but you're right. I think one of the cool benefits is you get to play it on your TV. But as I say, I think if they want to make it available on the devices you own without having to pay a Pro subscription, if you want to play it on TV, you do effectively need a Pro subscription. So I think I can see them making 4K just the norm, if I'm honest. And as I say, adding more value in the game side of things. I'm planning to get one, but I don't want a game sub. I just want a 4K experience in my purchases. And I think Nakinu, I think that's right. That's what I say. That's what I'm saying. I think 4K will be rolled out to everybody really as the norm. Have a consistent service across the piece, and then look, there's chat. Oh yeah, it's come up good. A consistent service across all, whatever option you choose. But the real added value is having a wider, more games in your Pro subscription library. That's the kind of the key difference. And then, like yourself, you can choose just to buy the games you want to play, or you can choose to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus when it comes to Europe. And then have the the fact that you can play it in 4K, because you could have a scenario where you're not paying for Stadia Pro, but you are paying for Ubisoft Plus, but then you're not getting the Ubisoft Plus games in 4K. So I think it makes sense if they do, as I say, just say, look, this is your service. And also it's a selling point, because not other cloud gaming services other than maybe Nvidia don't offer that 4K. So if they just went, here, everybody have the ability to have it in 4K, play on your Chromecast Ultra, play on your, because it will coming. They're talking about making the servers run faster, more compression, more Google Magic Dust on all of that. So I think they'll when they change the codecs, they can deliver more data in a more compact form, then it'll be 4K for everybody. I can see that. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. Yeah, wrong checks are red. Yeah, exactly. Savage, yeah, Journey to the Savage Planet. That is a good shout out there. Whoever said that, Hell Monkey was that? Yeah, for Pro. Yeah, they own Typhoon Studios. Yeah, I think that's a shoe-in for Pro. They own Typhoon Studios. They couldn't release it as a Pro title because deals were already done with the platform holders just before they bought Typhoon Studios. There was probably a window of licensing, and now that 12 months. It's about 12 months since Journey to Savage Planet was launched. So now it's probably out of that kind of platform exclusive period, and so now Stadia can go, well, we own Typhoon Studios, so we're sticking it in as a Pro game, and it will be a Pro game permanently, like all the other in-house first-party studios and third-party studios. The game should be Pro forever. That's why Xbox buy up developers and studios, so that their games are, Xbox Games Pass forever. That's the way you do it. Arc. Wow, that's a bigger shout, because I think Arc, could be, that would be a good one. I mean, maybe it's that balance between, doing something special and having a big game that's a Pro game, and things like that. So that'd be interesting whether Arc does or not. Oh, I see. Original Arc. Yeah. Yes. That's a good shout. I was just thinking of Arc too, but yes, because it's an old game, so that would probably fit the criteria, I think. Yeah, again, I think ray tracing, if you follow follow the logic of making 4K available to everybody, I think making ray tracing available to everybody, because ray tracing's in the game, sort of thing. So it's not much difference just to send it out. It's not something that sort of happens at the Chromecast end. They want the apps that are on TV that will eventually play Stadia and all of the kind of stuff. They've got to be super small and efficient. So all they're going to do is just play the codec. The data comes in, it plays the codec, sends the stuff back. So you want that to be consistent. So it would make a lot more sense from a consistency point of view if it just delivered the same service to everybody. Bippity, they may have. Yes, I may have forgotten that, Bippity Bop. Good shout. Good shout. I'm sure now you've mentioned it. COD or FIFA, yeah. Definitely. We know FIFA's coming in the first 2 or 3 months of the new year, and it would have been out for a while. I can't see EA necessarily letting it as a Pro. I think Call of Duty would be later in the... I think Call of Duty or something will come, but I think later in the year, if it does. And it won't be yeah, it'll be later in the year, definitely. Stadia Pro also doesn't include online. Many people use online than 4K. Yeah, 4K online, exactly. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense that they just offer 4K to everybody. And it may be a server issue for now. Yeah, winter for EA Games, which basically takes you through to March. So it's going to be, yeah, big discount. I think so, because it's not a brand new game. So yeah, the next 3 months we'll see the FIFA games. Yeah, it could be. I don't think we'll be all the way up to the end of March, personally. Oh yeah, look, do you like my Christmas jumper? I forgot to say, well, my Christmas t-shirt. I just, just so you know, I am being Christmassy. Look, it's an Imperial Walker thing. He's got a little Christmas hat, and then he's got fairy lights. There we go. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Daniel says he's waiting for those 2 games. Yeah, I think lots of people. I think what Cyberpunk has done has given the opportunity to a lot of people who have opened up the doors to Stadia to a lot of people, and a lot of those people are going, well, actually, if Cyberpunk plays pretty well, and I couldn't get my hands on a PS5 or I couldn't get my hands on the Xbox Series X, whatever, I don't think I'll bother now, as long as it's got my games that I want to play, and they're going to be things like FIFA, Call of Duty, and I think we'll see those games, and we know we're seeing FIFA and Madden in the next few things, in the next 2 or 3 months. Nerf Report. Hello, Brian. How are you, my friend? He thinks Scott Pilgrim will be a pro game. Dave, you completed Fallen Order. Oh, I'm still battling away. I got caught and put in jail, and I think I've just escaped from jail. That's not really a spoiler alert, but yeah. Do you think we'll see some big sales? Maybe, Hell Monkey. I mean, it's a sort of festive time, isn't it? In England, in the UK, we have Boxing Day sales. Yeah, I think, remember, they've got the announcement of the pro games for January. So we can either expect that tomorrow at 5 p.m. UTC or on Thursday. Thursday is like really late. I mean, literally Christmas Eve. So I don't know. So we'll have to see. But normally when they make those announcements, there's sales and stuff like that come as well with them. So hopefully some good sales, exactly. But it's hard to think. There's so many. It really is so many games. I mean, like I said, literally they're games that I cannot play because I'm just so busy. And yet you just think, oh, I'll have a chance to catch up over Christmas. And then you realize, well, actually what Christmas means is we're at the end of the month, which means it's going to be another at least 6 games, announced within the next few days. So who knows? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Boxing Day. Yeah. Exactly. You don't have Boxing Day in the USC, or do you? I don't know. Anyway, I think they'll make all their announcements this week. So either tomorrow or Thursday. Nothing in between, because who's going to be at work in between? Apologies if you are, but generally most people, very little activity going on between Christmas and New Year, and then first week of January, that's when you come back, like anybody, in any job, you come back, you start going, right, let's start planning, let's get announcements out there, let's start rolling our roadmap out, doing all these things, let's get on with our projects that we've kind of, ready for the new year. We finished all the projects for, they're probably, loads of Stadia staff are probably knackered. If they're anything like me, in terms of like having to get everything done by the end of the year, right? Because it was all promised by the end of the year, and I've done it, and it's like I'm at wow. Whew. And I think Google Stadia staff are like that. They've got out all these features by the end of the year. They're probably, oh, thank God for that. January, it just starts up again. Yeah, Canada does though. Yeah, because it's it's a Commonwealth country. You see, Canada. Sorry, Canada. Well, I think there's an advantage to outsourcing it. I think they sort of do. I think they have a sort of. Yeah, I could see them acquiring a studio like QLock or whatever, but it depends whether QLock say, well, we've got lots of other business, or I think what they have potentially is like a crack squad, yeah, in Stadia that go out to a number of outsourced port companies like QLock that they'll use and will push the work out to a handful of them. And then they'll probably incentivize them to kind of be exclusive to them for some reason. And then within the Stadia side of it, they've got a crack squad of, tech and engineer guys and software guys who can just drop in, go out to that company and go, right, what do you need doing? How can we help you? What's the problem? Because if you don't know, and I think most people do now, watch this, that the port for Cyberpun was done by a Polish company called QLock, who quite frankly did an amazing game. And they port to all the difficult devices, and porting to the Nintendo Switch is quite difficult. So they're real techie engineers. They know what they're talking about. They know how to port a game, get the most out of the platform they're porting to, which normally, if you're porting down to Switch, it's quite a struggle. I mean, I've seen some adverts for Doom Eternal. How they managed to get that onto Switch, well, I know some of the graphic fidelity has been squished and reduced in order to kind of give you the excitement. It doesn't look as brilliant and shiny, but it plays pretty well. But be able to squeeze all the power you can out of the Switch to be able to get Doom Eternal is a real art. It needs real techie engineers, software engineers to kind of do it. And QLock are clearly a company like that. But with Stadia, it's slightly different because you're not having to sort of squeeze the game into a lower spec system. You're taking the sort of, I'd say, the average PC version, a game that will work on a reasonable gaming rig, not necessarily a £3,000 gaming rig, but I say a mid-range gaming rig, because it's that kind of level, and then porting it to Stadia. And I think the job is a lot easier than it used to be. I do think they work very, very closely with the engineers at Stadia. Christopher Jackson, thank you for the subscription there, my friend. Much appreciated. Arigato gozaimasu, as they say. I hope you're enjoying the show. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. The last Stadia Monday night chat of 2020. I will be back, hopefully rested, back in January with more shows. The news will keep coming. The Stadia features will keep coming. There'll be lots to talk about. There'll be Stadia community blogs to read out to people like a story time, bedtime story, and all of that every week. I shall be doing this show. Hopefully I'll be doing some more little features because let me know if you like those little kind of young yay kind of interview type things and stuff. I enjoyed, well, it's quite hard work sometimes, but I enjoy doing them. I sort of enjoy the response. You lot seem to kind of find it amusing and interesting. So I'm going to do some more of those things and just up things a bit in terms of production values and fun, and yet stay informing, educating, and entertaining. Thank you all for being here. Remember to hit all the likes. I always appreciate everybody who comes and watches this live, interacts in the chat. It kind of gives the show a bit of edge, and all those catching up, that's cool. Dazadini, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Happy Crimbo to you, sir. Happy Crimbo. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, 11 more days. Unfortunately, XV, I don't think we're going to wake up on the 1st of January and the world's going to be a paradise, but never mind. Anyway, everybody, happy holidays. Do me a favor, everybody. If you do get a chance, I know Dave's working right up until Boxing Day or whatever, but if you do get a chance to take some time out, to take a rest, to take a break, I'm not trying to be preachy or teach you to suck eggs. If you do it. Take some rest. It's been a bitch of a year, so take some time out. Give yourself some time. Enjoy the festive period. Don't get too stressed about it. Chill out if you can. Enjoy yourself. Game on. And in the words of the ever-increasing subs, Sunnier Cloud Gaming, I'll see you in the clouds. Goodbye, everybody!
Rage on that beat, going crazy.